Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, and I'm here with.
Jack or Jonathan Reed.
And how'd you do in the YCS today?
We got top 32 at YCS Minneapolis playing Tearlament.
Bet, you want to do any shout outs before we hop in?
Yeah, so shout out to the guys back in Colorado, and shout out to my team Playmakers. We had a great time making this deck last minute. Shout out to Danny especially. Big one, shout out to Brian Graham. He was a close friend of mine who passed away in 2017 and has been one of my big inspirations to play the game, so feels really good to get a top. Hashtag only one Brian.
Alright, let's hop right in.
So we've got 3 of all the Tearlament monsters. These cards are all just stupid. You want to mill them, you want to draw them, like, yeah. Then I played a Cartesia and an Albion and the High Spirits package. So basically, the idea with this is you reveal the new Tearlament fusion, send one from your hand, and then you get to make a Kitkalos. And because you activate it with nothing on field, they can't use a Bisted on it, so you get a Kitkalos around Bisted. And you search Cartesia, who is a normal summonable tuner that lets you fusion summon, so this is how you get the Barone. This is the second target. We played a Night Sword Serpent. This thing, level 4 water, when it goes to grave it summons itself, and it helps make something in the extra deck we'll get to later. Then, favorite card, Gamma. You Gamma D-Shifters, Sprite hates this. And honestly, like, this card was great all weekend for me. Then, that was the only hand trap I played. For going second card, Super Poly, it was just like a god card for this event. Droplets, Tactics.
Did you like the tactics in the main?
This was great. So basically, you're either playing against Sprite, where they have to be running like hand traps or something like that for their deck to keep up, because their engine just is not as strong as this one, or you're playing against the mirror match, and a lot of the times they're going to be activating Bisted monsters or a Havness or something, and you'll get to activate this, and you either draw or look at their hand depending on how much you have. Going second, it's nice too, because they're always going to use effects. Stealing Elf is incredible. Because if Steal Elf, you can link with that thing, and then you revive something, makes Brind, pitch merrily, and it's broken.
So free.
Yeah, this card's absurd. Field Spell. Foolish. With Bisted in the format, I thought having the extra 1-card extender was more important. That card's dumb. MVP of the weekend, Scream. So, when you mill it, it searches a trap, which is really stupid in itself. And when you summon a monster, or when a monster is summoned, so even if your opponent summons as well and you control tier, you mill 3. And that doesn't seem that great until you realize Havness now mills 6, Merrily now mills 6, and you can pop this with your own field spell to search traps during your turn 1. Plus, it allows you to chain block everything. So you can go like your first tier effect, chain block it with this, second one, chain block it with field spell, and by then you clear most of their board. And 2 Soliacs and a Crime. We have the extra search power for additional traps, and with Bisted monsters, you get to resolve the add back from banished effects sometimes. That's main 42 cards. Honestly, I don't think I'd really change much about it. I might main deck Fenrir. That card's stupid. Extra deck. So we ran these cards. So this is what the Serpent's for. Rhino Heart plus the Water Serpent or a Mud Dragon gets you the Bahamut and Toad, which is extremely strong into a lot of decks to have an actual negate. You don't get blown out by Evenly as hard. And like you just get to recur a Rhino Heart off this card, which is really strong. Sometimes you make Elf with these and just get free recursion. Time Thief, when you're making a rank 4 blind going first, he's just your default. And Dweller for the mirror match. Elf, Sprine, Dark for the Link monsters. This card is absolutely absurd. Because now you just turn any 2 of your monsters into the dark, revive something out of their grave, turn them into Sprines, that's Merrily, so that's a fusion. And Elf is the same reason it was always good, revive Merrily, protecting targeting. The bounce effect on this is important. When you end on Bahamut Shark, his material fuels this. Then, many fusion monsters. So, I feel like this is pretty standard. This card's absurd. You're in a lot more grind games now, so 2 of this actually does come up. And the 1 Barone.
Also about the how you said you would like blind redoer. If your opponent was playing over 40, would you go for Dweller or would you still just go for redoer?
If my opponent is playing like 42, sometimes I'll go for Dweller, but I'll only go for Dweller if I open like a strong hand already. Because sometimes in the tier mirror match, even if you don't Dweller and you can just make a really strong board, it's enough. So, but if you like bet it all on a Dweller and they're playing Sprite, like now you're taking a loss to a deck that you really should not be taking losses to.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to Sprite players, but like, one of the decks summons like 18 monsters and one of them summons a bunch of 1400s.
Jeez.
Shout out to time in the round. Speaking of time in the round.
Hey, let's go.
Honestly, like, this doesn't really come up ever. Like, it's one of those things that you run just in case, but it never happened. We have skill drains for going first. This is for everything that's not the mirror match. So if you're playing against like Flunder, Sprite, whatever, you decide in the skill drain and they get blown out pretty well because all your monsters are massive, and now you're just going to beat them down with your like 3,000 attack point monster that comes back every time it dies. And we have two of those now because we have Kaleido and Rulikaros. Triple Raigeki.
Oh.
This card was broken. So not all the decks are making hard negates anymore. Last time they're in like a bunch of different versatile interruptions, or the mirror matches like Dweller, Elfine, etc. Then you can just Raigeki, clear the board, normal summon like a tier, set a Solic, and have counterplay. Plus it blows out Flunder. Nice barrier statue Empin. We've got two evenly matched, two Fenrir, two Heartbeats. This card is stupid. So this I would consider maining. For those who don't know, it sends a card from hand to grave to shuffle a spell or trap on field into deck. It doesn't send of cost, of course. So you get to like spin a Solic into deck, discard a tier, trigger a tier, and when it goes to grave, you get to add back a trap. So very strong. Evenly, a lot of decks just get blown out by this, or if you're going for density of board breakers, it forces the first interruption. This probably should have been main decked, since I realized that you sided in going first and second in every matchup. Because it's just absurd. Like, you just start your turn, summon it, search, and have it there. Even if they Hovness you, now you can interrupt the Hovness. And going into board, summon, attack, banish a monster. It's very, very powerful. Lastly, we had two Spooky Girls. So the concept wasn't really to draw them going second as much. It was to, if you're going first, you can make Bahamut Toad mill into this and Toad add it back since it's a water. So then you have your Ghost Girl, and especially with the Bisted monsters, your opponent summons so much that you gain a crap ton of life and can just like outlive the Dweller, outlive all of the real threats. Because if I have like 50,000 life points, I can just sit here and force your interruptions for a couple of turns. Never used it in time either. Like, yeah, I only went to time in one round, and that one was battle damage. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we hop off?
Thanks to everyone that helped me prepare. Looking forward to seeing everyone in Pasadena.
All right. Thank you for the deck profile. Congrats on the top, bro.